Okay.
One day, veil will part, you'll stop being the sheeple, and you'll understand how the reptiloids are controlling everything.
Good.
Until then, you're just doomed to ignorance, buddy.
I guess I am, and I guess I'm doomed to go to these wild bacchanalian satanic orgies as well.
All I'm saying is, if you're not careful, that's where you're going to end up.
Probably around solstices, I imagine.
Yep, they're big on the solstice. Big satanic symbolic moment.
Okay, well, thanks for putting me in the picture. No one's ever suggested, for example, that you're nuts, have they?
No one who wasn't in the direct employ of the reptiloids.
Have you ever, I'm just asking, seen a reptiloid in its reptile form?
You see, that's the trap you're falling into.
Okay. How am I falling into a trap there?
Shapeshifters. I've seen the reptiloids.
Of course.
George Bush, British royal family.
That fridge.
The entire Bilderberg Group.
Yep. Okay. There you go. And they change shape at will. So they could be anything they want, really.
They change to human form.
Okay. Not say to a nice pashmina or a Lexus.
I don't see how that would advance the reptiloid plan.
Well, you know, if you want free parking, upgrade yourself.
But, you know what I'm saying? So long as you're one of the sheeple, this stuff's going to pass you by.
Yeah, or through you, by the sounds of things. And, okay, so how will the reptiloids know when they've won?
The reptiloids have already won. It's only a question of if we can fight back. They control everything. They feed off our blood and our negative psychic energy. They have found extremely rare minerals at the core of the earth that expand their psychic abilities 1,000,000-fold.
Wow.
That's why they came to Earth from another planet, another plane.
Another plane.
Yes, another. They're on a fourth plane of existence that we can never reach.
I see.
Which is why, if anyone ever looks for their home world, they won't find it.
Of course.
No matter how powerful the telescope is.
Looking.
It's on a different plane.
Different plane. So how will we know if we've won?
Well, honestly, it's when people like me and David Icke control the world, you'll know we've won.
Okay, right. That'll be... So I suppose the fight's going to be long and hard then.
We're up for it.
Right. Is the world going to end anytime soon? It's just I've got some...
Look, there's been some minor miscalculations. David Icke did say it would end in 1997.
Right.
But I think that was the reptiloids influencing lunar rotation
Didn't carry
that put the calculations off.
Okay.
And I'm sure that any day now he'll announce another date for
Okay.
the end of the world.
Has he announced a couple of other dates as well?
He did mention how by 1991 earthquakes would have happened that would have rendered Los Angeles an island. New Zealand would have disappeared off the face of the earth, and half of the UK would be underwater.
That didn't quite happen though, did it?
Again, I believe that's the reptiloid.
That's the reptiloids doing that, right? Okay. But all that stuff's going to happen.
Oh yes, yeah. Once he refines the figures, we'll have the correct date for all of that.
Is that going to be one of those? I mean, this doesn't mean to sound uncharity. Was this going to be one of those ones that it happens and then he works out the date going the other way, or?
I think he's wise enough to tell when major events were the work of the reptiloids.
Okay, right.
So after the fact, he may well point to something that happened last week
And say reptiloids.
Reptiloids.
Yeah, because their hallmarks are all over it.
Basically, if anything, like a tidal wave, earthquake, tornado, flood, those are all hallmarks of the reptiloids.
Yeah.
So when you see those things happening,
Baywatch repeating. Yeah.
Absolute, irrefutable evidence, reptiloid activity.
Okay. Now, I'm guessing that part of the difficulty in getting everyone to rise up against the reptiloids is that illuminated people such as yourself don't have access to large amounts of communications media, except saving for the internet.
Which, by the way, if you have any doubts of any of this, the internet, the true free medium, it's all there. Proves it's true.
Sure it is.
I can look this stuff up and find someone to tell me it's true.
I'm sure you can.
Therefore, true.
Therefore, so what is stopping the true enemies of the reptiloids getting the news out, so to speak?
That's what I'm saying. The news, it's out there. I'm giving it to you now. The only thing that's stopping its penetration, closed minds. Closed minds of the sheeple. That's all that's stopping us.
Right.
And when we can reach the sheeple, open their minds, we can overthrow the reptiloids.
Okay. Right. Have anyone ever seen a reptiloid body? Like, has anyone ever produced a... Because, they would have won a couple of engagements. I'm just wondering, or do they disappear?
Well, given that the reptiloids are energy beings from a different plane of existence,
of course,
when we, the Neos, if you will, are victorious and destroy the form that's holding them on this plane,
right,
the energy tends to disperse.
And they evaporate, just like in a computer game. Okay.
Very similar.
Yep. And then you basically walk through a shotgun and pick up a health pack, and then the reptiloid will disappear, making it very difficult for forensics to point at. Okay. Is there obvious signs that a reptiloid body was there? So like, is stuff scorched, or is there a spaceship or something around?
No, quite frankly, if you're in a remote area and you see a scorched patch of earth, maybe with burnt wood arranged in a circular pattern, reptiloid body.
Reptiloid body, of course it is, in a remote area. Okay. I'm guessing that most reptiloid contacts happen when the Neo is on his or her own.
Well, it's simply a factor of self-protection of those of us who know. We have compounds in remote areas, away from the totalitarian forces that want to bring in a one-world government.
Yeah, well-armed compounds, I'm guessing.
Well, we've got to defend ourselves.
Yes, against energy beings from the fourth dimension. Do they offer much resistance, the reptiloids, once you get them cornered? Or do they just shapeshift on out of there?
I mean, seriously, you try and explain that that body of, a federal law enforcement official was a reptiloid just before you got here. That
would make it tricky.
And it used the last of its energy to leave a human corpse behind.
Yeah, that's just shocking, isn't it?
It's done to discredit the true believers.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's been done a few times now by the sounds of things. Right. I'm guessing if this all holds together, then various different federal arms of different governments would, of course, be tools of the reptiloids.
They're not so much tools of the reptiloids as they are the reptiloids.
Of course. Why do they have those academies and stuff for training and that? I suppose to keep up the pretense. Really.
Repeaters.
Repeaters, there you go.
They train each generation of repeaters to repeat their message to the sheeple.
Right. Yeah. I'm wondering also, since the reptiloids live on blood and conflict, why most of your world religions give it a little bit of be nice to everyone and be kind.
Honestly, I thought I was getting somewhere with you. That's just the window dressing.
Oh.
We all see what actually happens with the religions. The religions are the source of the conflict. Once you have a believer, you have an unbeliever. By definition, you create conflict, artificial. Humanity should be one cosmic, psychic ball of energy, one great oneness. Religion is a construct of the reptiloids that divides us and creates conflict, which they feed off.
And blood, apparently, at the same time. Why do they need conflict and blood? I don't get why they have...
Well, why do you need meat and potatoes?
Right. Because I need to eat, because I'm real.
And they need the same variety in their diet.
Right, of course they do.
Plus, of course, when you're draining someone of their blood, you're causing negative psychic energy as well through their pain, and so they get twice as much.
Well, fair enough. Right.
It's a 2-for-1 meal.
Okay. Right. So no one's ever written down, I'm having my blood drained by a reptiloid. Ouch.
Yes, they have.
Oh, okay.
I've seen it on the internet.
Of course you have seen it on the internet. Why didn't I think of that? It's on the internet.
Because you're one of the sheeple.
I am clearly one of the asleep ones. So if they control everything, why don't they shut down the internet sites that have the truth on them?
Because they can't, because we are too strong. So they try and use their Zionist-controlled media outlets to discredit people. True visionaries like David Icke is mocked as a crazy person.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
If I can't think of a clearer example of reptiloid dominance than a visionary like David Icke being mocked as a crazy man. That proves the level of their control.
I can see how it would prove that they control quite a bit, especially when you've got red dresses running around and the royal family eating things. I'm wondering also, none of this has been on WikiLeaks ever.
But it is on Wikipedia.
Okay.
Because when anyone's allowed to put information in, that's when information's truly free, and that's when I can look up anything I want and find someone who tells me it's true.
Right. Well, well, that's okay. Good. That's great. I tell you what, I'm going to go now and avoid these Satanist cocaine parties. With the rogering, and you keep up the good fight.
I will.
I'll be sure to make sure I'm nowhere near the compounds when the fight starts. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go and pick out a non-sodomizing wardrobe, yeah. Yeah, good luck with that. And enjoy. I've got a... Yep.